One thing I did want to speak about real quickly is how these cats are out here talking about how the Apocrypha is not inspired. I just found something. If you go to what is that, Hebrews, the 11th chapter, in a nutshell, the chapter is talking about the great men, in the scriptures, who put their faith in the Most High to get through certain situations. It talks about it talks about what happened to Noah, what happened to Moses, what happened to Abraham, and all of that. But the thing I'm getting at is that and hey, Rich, welcome to the show. But real quick, real quick before you speak, I want to finish what I was saying. Is that in the chapter, if you go to the 35th verse and read on down, it speaks about the seven brothers in the Apocrypha, and Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, right? It mentions those who were brutally killed and put to death, to follow the commandments of the Most High. So the ones that it's referencing is the seven brothers in the book of Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter. So that proves that the New Testament does quote the Apocrypha. But anyway, welcome to the show, Rich. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man.
Man, it's been really stressful lately. It's like things are just getting worse and worse in this world, and it's like people's hearts are just growing colder and colder, every day.
Oh yeah, man. I definitely hear you, man. I definitely hear you. We see that everywhere now, man. That everybody is just out to get to screw you over to increase themselves. That's what everyone's out here. Everyone's out here for profit. Everyone's out here, just one up you. You know what I'm saying? That's what everyone's out here trying to do. I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, and it's I really think we're to a point now in the modern world where it's like, we want to be away from people. I mean, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just don't want to be part of this modern world. And I don't think that most Christians have really thought about this, but they don't understand what life actually is, because we weren't meant to work a 9-to-5 job. We weren't meant to go to school. School isn't part of life. That's a man-made concept. We were literally meant to be roaming naked out in the forest and being hunter-gatherers, But that's how far gone we are because of this new world order,
Right, and same thing with have everybody's sitting around all day. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's sitting at the office job, or in school, or sitting around the house. Our body is not designed, just to be sitting around, pretty much, 24/7, which is what most people are doing all day.
And everything they're doing to is the opposite of what we should be doing. Even the way the way we brush our teeth now, the water we drink, literally they're putting rat poison in it, and then they're telling you that this is good for your teeth or this is good for your body.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. It's definitely we're in the worst case scenario right now. But the good news is, the good news is that this place is coming to an end, right? This place is coming to a close, right? The curtains are closing on America, and we can see it. Just like if you go to these convenience stores, man. I mean, hell, I went to one the other day, man. To get a product I needed, and they were all out of that. The shelves are bare on almost every product, man. What they're doing to make it look like there's nothing going on is they're pushing all the product to the front of the shelf. So you don't have to reach back and see, well, why is there only a few here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're being sneaky. But anyone who has eyes to see, they can see what's going on, man. I'll throw back.
And as I said, time is actually going by faster now. We're actually at that point where time is literally going by faster.
Yeah, hey, the scriptures say that, for the elect's sake, those days they will be shortened, right? So, even though we're all going to be here, during the Great Tribulation, the days are going to be cut short so that the elect, can, quickly be saved at it, right? So for our sakes, the Lord's going to shorten these days. So I do agree with you that, everything is, speeding up, man. I mean, hell, I remember, it feels like yesterday that it just turned, 2020. You know what I'm saying? And here we are.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's a good thing, I'll say this again. This world needs to come to an end because we've gotten so far away from what the world is meant to be. We're literally meant to be hunter-gatherers out, naked in the forest, We're not even meant to be wearing, shoes. You're supposed to be feeling the ground on your feet. I'm not trying to sound like... Yeah.
Real quick, not to cut you off or anything. Sacramento said that that Sam is streaming live about me right now. Hey, Sacramento, go ahead and send a link to what's that cat, to Samuel, or at least go on the comment board and tell him that ETT is alive right now, and tell him to come join us here. I asked him earlier, and he was like, "Oh, okay, man, maybe I'll stop by." But just go ahead and tell him that I'm live now, because maybe he didn't get a notification or something. But we'll see if we can bring him on the show. Because Rich, I don't know if you know about him, but he teaches that he is the Christ in the flesh. He teaches he is the Son of Man. What do you think about that?
I think when it comes to people like that, there's really not much to say, because if you're a delusional person to that level, I don't really think there's any hope for you to change unless you get proper medication or something. So somebody like that really just isn't worth my time, to be perfectly honest with you.
I mean, to be honest with you, man, we just bring him on here just to have some fun with him, just to.
Well, and plus, I seen how he was talking crap about 2 Liter J when 2 Liter J was literally taken up for him. That definitely sounds like something Jesus would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man. As I said, it's it's crazy, man. These guys are out here just crazy, but that's a sign of the times, because Christ said that. Oh, and by the way, Ridger, are you able to hear the background noise, because it is noisy behind me? I just want to make sure it's not coming.
I
can't hear it, right?
No.
Okay, good. I'm glad about that, because it would mess up the audio. So it doesn't get heavier.
I'm not too familiar with this person, but I am familiar with another person I've been researching. I highly doubt he would come on the show to debate us, but that would be interesting. His name is Quasi-Luminist, and this guy actually believes he's Satan. So it's kind of like the opposite. And he's one of the people that teaches the blood over intent, where you got to literally cut yourself or whatever, and you put the blood on the paper, post it on the internet, and you become one of the 144,000.
Yeah, I remember that. I seen that a while back. Cats were doing something. But I seen something like that, man. There was something going on. A few years ago, people were uploading videos of them cutting themselves, and putting it on paper, right, letting it bleed on the paper. I was like, what the hell are these people doing?
Well, so what they believe, once they put the blood on the paper and they post that, and he sees that, and they got their 144,000 people that posted that, then guess what? They say he's going to take them all to the center of the earth, to the Garden of Eden, the middle of the flat earth plain, and they're going to drink from the water and have their eternal life.
Hey, man, the scriptures speak about, hey, look, if the blind lead the blind, they would both fall into a ditch, right? So that just represents the congregation of the blind, man. But hey, at the end of the day, it's a good thing, because it gives me an extra chance to make it onto those chariots. You know what I'm saying? Which is the goal at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a good thing, because it gives me an extra chance to make it onto those chariots. You know what I'm saying? Which is the goal at the end of the day.
And I'm going to just say this now. I'm not making videos or doing what I do anymore to wake up anybody. If you're not awake by now, there's no hope for you. I'm only making videos to educate people that are already awake.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's why they have a saying out there. I believe it goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So we can. Yeah, man, absolutely. That's why they have a saying out there. I believe it goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So we can lead people, down to the correct direction, in this knowledge, but we can't force them to understand it. Say, for an example, I can give somebody flat Earth information and say, hey, man, look into this, but I can't force him to believe it. I can't force him to look at it. I can just lead him to it, and he can decide to look into it. Yes, as I said, we're doing. Hey, look, and this is in the scriptures, right? We're giving the people a warning of bad things to come, right? We're telling the people that, hey, look, there's a dark future coming, over here in America, Babylon the Great. Now, there's a dark winter coming, as they say. There's some dark times coming. People can hear it, they can laugh, or some people can say, oh, you know what, these guys are on to something. So, you just got to, hey, the scriptures say, blessed is the man who hears the words of these prophecies, right, and those who believe in them, right? So you're going to have people who believe in it, or I should say, you're going to have people who hear what we're saying, but they're not going to believe in it. But then vice versa, you are going to have some people who hear and do believe, right? So we do what we do, so at the elect, hear, and, they'll increase. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And when I make mainstream conservative videos, like talking about stuff like Black Lives Matter or the LGBT, I don't really do that to start a left versus right war. I'm doing that so I can reach more mainstream conservatives, and then hope that they'll look at my other content and, kind of be a fisher of men like that. Like recently on BitChute, I made a video that was a pretty mainstream conservative video talking about Dave Chappelle. Are you familiar with that whole situation?
No, I'm not. I don't know who that is.
Well, basically, Dave Chappelle is just a comedian, and he started making jokes about certain groups of people, and they're wanting to cancel him. Like, they're wanting to ruin his career. And, I just find it so ironic. It's like, people can make jokes about white people. They can make jokes about Christians. They can make jokes about killing straight people. You've probably seen that YouTuber that literally dresses up as Jesus Christ and mocks him, right? You've probably seen that guy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
People can do all that, but the moment you make a joke against certain minorities or certain groups of people, all of a sudden they want to ruin your life and cancel you,
Right, absolutely. Did you see what happened to Rob Skiba? Did you see the news that he passed away?
I'm not familiar with who that is now.
Oh, I'm surprised, man. I would have thought you would know. That's the guy who's he's pretty popular. You can look him up on YouTube. You can find his channel. He talks a lot about the flat earth, stuff like that. But yeah, man, that guy died. I believe it was due to the whole, situation. I'm not going to use the word, the whole thing that's going around right now. I believe that's what happened to him. I believe that was his demise. But I would have to do some more research on it. But but yeah, man, that just shows you, you can be alive one day and you can be gone the next. So that's why you have to you always got to be on your best behavior, in this thing, man, because you never know what day could be your last, man.
And that's the thing. They're waging a war against society, with just stuff like chemtrails and pretty much everything is fake now. Everything is fake.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. There's definitely some stuff that's going on. Let me ask you a question. I'm not sure if you were on here when I talked about this, but what are your thoughts on these guys out here that teach that the dinosaurs ain't real? Oh, and real quick, while you're doing that, let me drop a link because we got Samuel in the chat. Let's get that cat on here. And Samuel, you know the rules. Don't use the C word on here. And I'm not talking about concave. I'm talking about the whole situation going on in the world. Just refer to it as the thing, right? You can talk about concave Earth, that's fine, but don't use the other C word. You know what I'm talking about. Give me a second. Okay, we'll post a link in the chat for you. And yeah, we have Ridge in the house here. So we're gonna talk to Samuel, right?
Okay.
And even Sacramento might want to come on because remember, Ridge, this brother's on here saying that he is the Messiah, right? So this is going to be an interesting conversation. Just waiting for him to click that link. I'll give him a minute to do so. I should be in the chat.
Yeah.